All right, we're gonna get started here with. Christ, I love these freaking game names. We're gonna get started here with the Eternal Format Tournament. In just a moment, our players have just received their round 1 pairings, so that'll be going up shortly. All right. We're going to jump in on a game here real quick. I think we'll jump in on this. Whoops, this one here. So this is going to be iFly versus Texter. All right. We have way too much open at the same time.
Which one is Tandem?
Tandem is not in this match.
Whoa, what's his player name?
Tandem. All right, players, your time has started. We're gonna have some fun with this. All right, so we see iFly right off the bat, starting with a Rattata from Rocket. So that has the Trickery Pokemon power, 1 string your turn before your attack. You may switch one of your prizes with the top card of your deck. So this power can't be used if your Pokemon is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Texts are saying, I already know what this is. Oh no.
And there's the nest ball.
Going for that ball toy, making sure that they're going to have a Claydol available to them next turn for its Poke Power. And a Minun.
Like Diamond Pearl Minun.
Yeah, is minus charge, 1 string your turn before your attack. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw 2 cards. So this is very similar to the Oricorio GX. A very similar ability in that case. It is hard capped at 1 use per turn.
Which is good.
I mean, even drawing 2 is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Then again, with 60 HP, if you're vulnerable, you're vulnerable to spread damage pretty bad. So
yeah,
something like a Tapu Koko could really wreck this board. Yeah. Rattata only has 40 HP. The Ball Toy only has 60. The Minun only has 60. Could go very south very quickly. I see Texter discarding a Choice Belt with a Quick Ball. Starting off that Instructor Ringaroo may not be ideal for Texter. Probably going for a Comfey or for a Cramorant. I would have to imagine a Comfey, but they've got to have some way to switch.
The Instruct is draw back up to 3, right?
Yes, it is. So Instruct says 1 string in your turn before you attack, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. So
it's Rose Tower.
Yes, it's the effect of Rose Tower as an ability.
Which is also not necessarily good if you can't get a way to get down to below 3 to start with.
Yeah, it's a little rough going first when you really can't thin your hand much. The good thing is that Texter's going second here, so they will be able to use a supporter card if they have one, but...
It looks like he, quick balled away the Choice Belt?
Yeah, quick balling away that Choice Belt. Choice Belt, an interesting choice in this format. Not universally good, kind of a weird one to pick, frankly.
I feel like it's just better running some of the items also from Diamond and Pearl, because I'm more versed in Diamond and Pearl era with some of that stuff. I think especially like, not necessarily saying it, but as an example, Karate Belt Or not the one where you do 20 more damage, the 20 extra health, but 2 prizes.
Right.
Expert belt.
I don't know necessarily expert belt even. I think I would rather go with muscle band. Muscle band is blank 20 damage increase, which I think is pretty good. I fly having issues, it looks like. I do have a ping. So it looks like Untap has frozen for Texter. We're gonna see if we can get them back up and going. Having a problem with the browser at the moment. Trying to get this game back up and going for you guys. Get that real quick. We may end up switching games.
This just changed over here.
Yes, it did. Let's fix this. Unfortunately, the app, it looks like, is what's frozen on the browser, so this could be an interesting situation here. We do have, unfortunately, the Untap app is not the most stable thing, so we're going to go ahead and switch games while they're trying to get their stuff sorted out. All right, let's see here. We have, so we're going to Gil and to Texter. All right, so not Texter, Gil and Tandem. All right, so we see the Nihilego GX being knocked out in the active spot. Nihilego with its empty light ability, whenever you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may leave both active Pokemon confused and poisoned. Also has the lock up attack for 120. Defending Pokemon can't retreat during your next turn. And Symbiont GX. Add the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to their prize cards. So Tandem's definitely going to want to be using that particular GX attack copied via Lost Link to add 2 cards to Gil's prize cards. Unfortunately, that Nihilego was just knocked out, which means Gil has taken 2 prize cards already. Gil is absolutely playing a version of Lost Box for Eternal. Interesting thing, too, about Lost Box in Eternal format, the scoop up net that everybody comes to love so much in Standard is not legal. So
I don't know why you looked at me for that.
says somebody who regularly makes use of 3 or even 4 scoop up nets in a single turn when they're playing anything running Lost Engine.
Or Battle VIP Pass.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. All right, we see the double colorless energy come down on Mew on the active spot.
Does he have the break in the law?
There is a Eradicate break in the Lost Zone. So Eradicate break with its Super Fang attack. It says put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until it has 10 HP remaining. So that Cramorant's going to go down to 10 HP. And Tandem has just used Hypnotoxic Laser. Hypnotoxic Laser says your defending Pokemon is now poisoned. And flip a coin if heads, defending Pokemon is also asleep. So at this point, the poison damage between turns is going to knock out that Cramorant. Unfortunately for Tandem, the strategy doesn't work too well against single prizers.
No.
A little bit unfortunate. I would really like to see Tandem running perhaps a Tapu Koko promo from the Sun and Moon era with the Flying Flip ability, which does 20 or attack rather, does 20 damage spread across everything.
Because you're basically having to waste your resources just knocking out single prizers, and you eventually run out, and then you just can't get anywhere past that.
Right. And the flip side to this too is you could also be, well, you probably should also be running the Sableye from Lost Origin with the 12 damage counter drop, just in case your opponent is using some sort of bench barrier effect, whether that's Mr. Mime or Mew or Manaphy. There's some way for you to protect yourself.
What do you also feel about Cramorant in Tandem's list?
In Tandem's list, I think he should be running it. I think Cramorant's a really good option. Right now, he's got 4 Pokemon in the Lost Zone, so 4 cards in the Lost Zone rather. So a Cramorant would be really good because he'd be able to get those damage. He might not quite do as well as a pure Lost Box deck, obviously, because he's not quite built to handle it, but it would give him an option against single prizers, which I think is pretty useful.
So we see Warpoint, VS Seeker, grabbing Colress, 2 cross switchers.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on in terms of the play here.
I'm assuming at least the play on the VS Seeker is
okay.
Colress.
Here we go. Gil's explaining it. So Warp Point is switching into the Comfey. So Comfey is going to the active spot, and that's going to force the other Mew to the active. Colress to put extra cards in the Lost Zone, and then Cross Switcher to get the Sableye to the active, and drop 12 damage counters on both Mews, knocking both out. That's game.
Yeah.
So that is game.
That's the downside also to a lot. Like Mew Prime is, it does have exactly 60 health.
It does, and it's really low, unfortunately.
It's a very squishy target.
Yeah, it's quite squishy. We are going to go back to this game.
It's actually squishier than the Comfey.
Oh, very interesting. So we see the Claydol active on iFly's side. It does appear to be iFly's turn at the moment. So Claydol has gotten down. Texas says he could not get his first turn attack off. We do see
Giant Hearth in play.
A Giant Hearth. We see the Mewtwo Mew has a Magneton, Holland's Magneton attached to it. Holland's Magneton allows you to basically have a double rainbow energy. So it says you may attach this as an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon that already has an energy card attached to it. When you attach this card, return an energy card attached to that Pokemon to your hand. While attached, this card is a special energy card and provides every type of energy but 2 energy at a time. It has no other effect other than providing energy.
It looks like a computer search for dropping Crobat and Guzma.
Correct.
Grabbing something. I would say that's another reason why I've been grabbing all my all-in Pokemon when I see them.
Because they're going to be great in this format. Yeah, they're truly scary.
Are you allowing World Championship cards?
No, it's a fun format anyway. I'm allowing proxies, so yeah, sure. Alright, we see Cynthia's Feelings come down. So shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 4 cards. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your last turn, during your opponent's last turn, draw 4 more cards. So we see that go down, and is also seeing a Nest Ball played. We see Zubat come down.
There's also evolve into the Eradicate, the triple special energy.
So that's Boost Energy. So Boost Energy can be attached to any evolved Pokemon. Discard Boost Energy at the end of your turn. So this is similar to triple Boost Energy from what was it? Unified Minds? Mm-hmm. It was from a Sun Moon set. At the end of your turn, the Pokemon Boost Energy is attached to can't retreat. If Boost Energy is attached to a Pokemon that is no longer an evolved Pokemon, discard the energy.
And then he also bumped the Giant Hearth.
The Giant Hearth is no longer in play. Now it's Dynatree Hill.
which just got bumped.
We got bumped again by Heat Factory, so that we have seen a switch in the turn here. Heat Factory Prism Star. For those of you who aren't familiar, it is a Prism Star card, so you can have one of each Prism Star card in your deck. So it's not like Radiant or Ace or Gold Star Pokemon or cards where you can only have one of any. Prism Stars are one of each. So for this particular card, Heat Factory Prism Star says you can discard a fire energy card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards, which is extremely strong.
Yeah.
What's great too is these Prism Star Stadiums have a built-in protection from some types of removal. So it says whenever a player plays an item or supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to the stadium card. So something like Windstorm or Field Blower can't get rid of Heat Factory.
Or Lost Vacuum, right?
Lost Vacuum wouldn't do it either. Yep. All right, we see a Fire Crystal come down.
We'll grab
grabbing
3
fire energy. Looks like just 2 available. 2 fire energy from the discard pile to the hand. Discarding one of those again with Radiant Greninja.
for concealed cards. Is that a choice belt that just came down on the Crobat?
That is indeed a choice belt. Some interesting choices on the tool cards in this format.
Quick Ball away GX.
Yeah, so he's discarding the Pheromosa and Buzzwole. Yeah, Pheromosa and Buzzwole. So you have the Beast Game GX is probably what that is particularly for. All the Jet Punch is also good. Beast Game GX says if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, take 1 more prize card. If the card this Pokemon is attached to has at least 7 extra energy attached to it in addition to this attack's cost, so that'd be 8 total energy. Take 3 additional prize cards instead.
So you get 4 prizes if you knock out a non-Roblox. You get 5 prizes if you knock out a Roblox.
Well,
2 generic Roblox.
And then you just take game with the
tag team or VMAX. Jesus.
Yeah, but you do need 8 energy on it to do that. So
yeah. Which, I mean, in Eternal, when you got access to the Holland Pokemon, looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're switching 1 for 1, right?
Yeah.
Well, 1 for 2.
Guzma. I feel like the
Is that Mewtwo is coming up? So that Super Fang is going to come down.
Be bumped up.
It's very interesting. So Tandem was playing with Raticate Break, and here iFly is playing with Raticate. So it's exactly the same effect with Super Fang. The difference is Raticate Break only has a Super Fang for 3 energy instead of for 2. So.
Tech's thinking about target. He's done bringing up the Zubat.
So Zubat has no retreat right now, right? Yeah, Zubat's a free retreater at the moment because it has no energy attached to it. There's no real reason to pick the Zubat.
I personally would have picked the Claydol because it slows them down on a
draw. Yeah, exactly. The Claydol's also a 2 retreat cost.
Yeah.
The Zubat is kind of an interesting choice. That might have just been a misplay. Alright, they're just gonna knock out the Zubat, which is fine, but the Claydol going down would have been better, I feel.
It's like, how much damage was he doing with the attack?
So they're using. Oh, actually, I think I know what. Okay, no, that made sense. That made perfect sense, actually. So they used Miraculous Soul GX. No Miraculous Soul. Okay, that's not it then. Elegant Soul. Elegant Soul says during your opponent's next turn, Pokemon's Elegant Soul's base damage is 60, so it drastically reduces the damage. So it does not make sense to me. I feel like you could have used Beast Game GX and at least taken an extra prize card. It feels not great.
I personally still would have picked the Claydol.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick the Claydol though, you don't have the option to use the GX attack on it really, because you're not going to be knocking it out. So Holland's Magneton is serving as 2 rainbow energy at the moment. We see Mine draw a couple cards for iFly. So that Rattata does have free retreat, so keep that in mind. It's a great pivot Pokemon in this format. In fact, that Zubat and the Rattata both have free retreat right now.
Because Zubat's got free retreat as long as what?
It has no energy attached to it.
Oh.
So as long as you're not
Simple.
attaching energy, it's very simple, very very good. It's very similar to Wondrous Crystal from my custom format. Because the Wondrous Crystal is a tool card in the JIBX format that says, as long as you have no energy attached to this Pokemon, the tool protects your Pokemon from abilities, and the retreat cost is reduced by 1. So
see rescue stretcher for the
Zubat, yeah, getting another Zubat in play. Have to wonder if they're going to be using the Golbat to spread damage, perhaps.
I mean, he just played one of the Zubats. Well,
Right, but the other one's still there, so.
VS Seeker for
Cynthia's feelings. So shuffle draw 8.
Can you imagine if we had that?
We'll have Cynthia's ambition.
Well, yeah, but I meant like shuffle your hand and then draw it. Versus just drawing back up to 8.
Texture realizing now that Raticate also has free retreat.
We see the Rattata evolve into the Raticate.
Mm-hmm.
There's now 2 Raticates.
And we see the retreat for the Raticate on the bench to come to the active spot using that triple acceleration energy. Triple acceleration energy going to enable that Super Fang. Just have to see. There goes the damage. All right, so Mewtwo is going to take 26 damage counters to the face, leaving it with just 10 HP left. This is going to be pretty devastating. These Zubats, if they evolve up into Golbats and spread some damage, that is going to be
very cooking.
That's going to be real nasty. Yeah. Gil says, reverse power creep is real. Cynthia's feelings is literally just a better Bruno. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it goes from 4 to 7 for Bruno and 4 to 8 for Cynthia's feelings. So yeah, it's exactly the case.
I don't know if they'll need it, but are we doing a extension for the...
No, that should be fine. Alright, so Texter has the opportunity to do something here. Has to do something quickly though before that Mewtwo gets knocked out. I see a Fire Crystal come down, grabbing some fire energy from the discard pile.
1, 2,
getting the full value there with the 3 coming out. Definitely going to need a Mewtwo and Mew GX to replace the one that's about to get knocked out.
I feel like we're done to see concealed cards here.
I think we've already seen the concealed cards, right? Yeah, we've seen the concealed cards already. We are seeing the Evolution Incense grabbing Holland's Electrode. Holland's Electrode, like Holland's Magneton, basically serving as a double rainbow. We're going to see a Welder come down on the Radiant Greninja. Very interesting choice there. Attaching 2 fire energies to the Radiant Greninja does open up a good play, though. That play is actually pretty good because you're able to attach the Holland's Electrode, bumping off that second fire energy. Basically, now Radiant Greninja is fully powered up. Mm-hmm. So when you're discarding energy, you can just discard the 2 or discard the Electrode, and you're going to be able to snipe with that Greninja. Very good play. You do see 2 Pokemon hit the discard pile there. We see the Mega Gengar EX and Noivern GX both hitting the discard pile.
Another one's about to... 2 more about to go into the
Naganadel Guzzlord and Charizard, Mega Charizard EX, both going to the discard pile as well. Mega Charizard EX, probably not the best choice for this particular deck. I know it's a popular choice right now in the Eternal format for Regidrago V-Star. However, I think Charizard GX from Hidden Fates is just the better choice if you're playing Mewtwo and Mew GX. All right, we're going to see a retreat out of the Mewtwo. And the Greninja is going to go to the active spot, going to nuke two Pokemon. Both of the Raticate, I have to imagine. That no, the Raticates only have 60 HP. So
oh, really?
yeah, so that Moonlight Shuriken is going to do 90 damage to both of them, taking both of them. No! Major misplay by Dexter. Oh no. Failing to take out the Raticates, going for the obvious choice in the Zubat, but not taking out the attackers. I mean, to be fair, the Zubats at least were a threat with the Crobat that is going to protect the Mewtwo Mew for another turn.
But he'd still have to get up to the Crobat if he's not playing Rare Candy.
While that's true, like you're still going to be getting more damage in play now that Raticate can be attacking into that Crobat. So it not the worst play. It is saving the Mewtwo Mew, but that is a little sad. I would have at least taken down. Well, maybe you have to take the Zubats. I don't know.
What is this whole cluster of cards that's going on right here?
So we see an Ultra Ball discarding, looks like a Baltoy and a level. No, let's see an Ultra Ball discarding a Rattata and a Baltoy. A level ball coming down to get Mr. Mime. A counter catcher going after that Mewtwo. That Mewtwo is now dead. Dead. It's dead. I mean, we knew it was going to happen anyway, but now it's for sure gone. Just have to find out how iFly is going to take that knockout. Definitely pulling that Mew GX back to the active spot. What do we got here? So this feelings being played. Now, if he didn't have to use Cynthia's feelings, a Wally could have been absolutely devastating there. Now I'm not sure that iFly can take the knockout this turn.
No, there's the energy.
The triple acceleration energy is energy, but it's not going to actually do damage, right? Because it's already got as much damage on it as it's going to have. So unless he has Eradicate Break, and I don't even remember what Eradicate Break does, to be honest, other than Super Fang. I think it only has Super Fang. So not even, that wouldn't really do anything, right? All right, we see the warp point.
I'm going to be sad.
iFly says he just lost. Uh-oh. Some misplay costing him the game, looks like. Did you see the Radiant Greninja come back to the active spot? And he benched Raticate without energy attached to it. No? Changing their mind? Okay, we're just retreating back into the Eradicate. Going to put damage counters. Going to put damage counters on that Radiant Greninja. So Radiant Greninja is going to take 120 damage out of the, well, take 12 damage counters off of Super Fang. I do have to wonder if iFly is maybe missing the Golbat that he needed to. He's going to need, because he says he's lost already. He can still evolve the Ditto Prism Star into a Golbat. We see a welder come down on the Mewtwo and Mew. Have just over a minute and a half left in the clock here. Let's see how this goes. Mewtwo and Mew GX coming to the active spot with those 4 energy attached to it. That's the 2 fire energy and that Holland's Magneton. I wonder what attack he's going to use. Does have a lot of choices available to him. Has the GX attack on the Naganadel and Guzzlord GX, the chaotic order. And actually does appear to have the necessary energy to use it. So we also see Holland's cast form swapping in, so maybe not going for that play. Chaotic order would just give him 2 prize cards right off the bat. But actually, no, because that's not quite enough yet. They would need Texter would need another Holland's Pokemon on the Mewtwo Mew. That would bring him to 6 energy. But still would need 2 energy after that in order to use the GX attack on Naganadel or not Naganadel, I guess, on Pheromosa and Buzzwole. I do wonder what the strategy is here. Okay.
Timer's done.
I think the game is also done. Not sure. There's just 1 prize card left for Texter. We do see a knockout on the Radiant Greninja. That ability of Golbat puts 2 damage counters to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Do you see those coming down, knocking it out? Hypnic Toxic Laser on the active Mewtwo and Mew GX. That is going to KO the Mewtwo and Mew also between turns. That's going to be a full of 4 prize cards taken by iFly. I need to look at my times hit. So yeah. All right, so we are going to see a knockout on the Mewtwo here. Having some fun with the orientation of the cards here while they get the setup for that Mewtwo's asleep. Waiting for iFly to make the next move. Or are we just going into the poison? Alright, so iFly is going to draw off of Claydol. Looks like just 1 card off of a Claydol. That's not the best. Have to wonder what he's looking for at the moment. We see Versus Seeker. And a Guzma. Not really wanting to Guzma right now, but choosing to do it anyway. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because
now it's not going to get knocked out between turns, right?
Yeah, it won't get knocked out.
Yeah, now it's not poisoned anymore, or asleep for that matter. I don't understand what that play was. To maybe attaching the energy to... Oh, there we go. That's the play. That's a great play. Okay, so the Golbat swoop across is going to end this game.
Oh, because he'll deal 10 to each bench.
iFly says, actually, I think this is a misplay. I mean, that's still 4 prize cards all at once.
Which
And it's
puts
going to put
both players down to 1 prize card left.
Yeah, but now Texter has to find some way to make this happen. Swoop across is going to knock out both the Mewtwo Mew and the Oranguru. Put 10 damage counters on Lapras, 10 damage counters. 10 damage on Lapras and 10 damage on Crobat. So now Texter has to find some way to respond to this. Has just basically this turn to do it, right? So time was called while iFly was in turn. Is that correct? So
iFly was turn 0, Texter's 1.
All right, we do see Mewtwo Mew come down. Battle Compressor come in. Dropping the Reshiram and Charizard GX into the discard pile using Battle Compressor. Weldering on. This is devastating. Weldering onto the Mewtwo and Mew GX. Just a manual attachment from hand is going to end this game. Can he do it? There's the Float Stone on the Lapras. A retreat.
Because he would only be able to outreach for 10. There's the manual.
Yeah, there's the manual attachment end game. So Texter takes that game with Mewtwo and Mew GX. Very interesting decks from both of our players here. Super Fang versus Perfection. Let's go to round 2.
Don't forget these.
Yeah. Alrighty. We're going to switch to round 2. Oh, I see what happened. I need to fix that. That's player. All right, that should fix that.
No, because...
No, it's not fixing it. That's frustrating. Texter. It's got it. It's not updating it yet, it looks like, but we should be good. Let me should be set there. All right, so let me go ahead and switch this up real quick so we can see the next game. I'm gonna get this resolved in the background. Let's see here. All right, this is going to be Tandem versus Texter. That should resolve the issue here. Page. Yes, okay. Everything's all fine. We're good. All right. All right, so we see Texter versus his opponent. which is tandems. This is tandem and texture. This is Mew versus this is Lost Mew versus Mewtwo Mew. This could be very interesting. Two copiers of attacks.
I feel like this one is gonna be a bit more in favor of tandem than last match.
I think so too, because there's a multi-prizer in play, and I think Tandem's deck can set itself up fairly quickly to deal with Mewtwo Mew. So I think Texture's probably in a bit of trouble, but we'll see. You never know, right?
Because I mean, Mew, you have to accelerate at the same time. You also have to discard the GXs.
Right.
So we see starting with Mew and Mew, starting with all the Mews.
Mew.
Yep, Mew 3. He's somewhere.
Yeah, but he's adorable.
All right. He's just a fluffy bed.
All right, we see the Noivern GX come in. Noivern GX, pretty devastating card for this match. Maybe choosing a different card. Just saw that vanish. Yeah, just put it back in the deck setting. Maybe that's not the card right now that they want. Noivern GX coming back out, so maybe it is after all. All right, we do see Noivern GX move over here. Distort for 2 energy, does 50 damage, and opponent cannot play item cards from their hand during their turn. And for 3 energy, 120, your opponent can't play any special energy cards from their hand during their turn.
And they're discarding it to Giant
Discarding it with Giant Hearth.
To go get 2 fire energies from the deck. Hopefully.
I mean, that's what you do with Giant Hearth.
Well, I say hopefully, because I don't... Hopefully he doesn't have a lot of energy prized.
I mean, that'd be quite a lot of energy. Stuff is like a full 6 fire energy as your prize cards. You see a second Mewtwo Mew GX coming down. Could be...
No Welder, because he's going first.
No, going first. No Welder this turn. Probably has it for this next turn. Tandem drawing to start his turn. Gotta see how they're gonna get set up this game.
Otherwise, they're gonna be a dunk. Nope, they're not gonna be a dunk.
Level Ball searching out another Mew Prime. Getting that Lost Link ready to go.
Though I do feel like donks are less common in Eternal than standard.
You have so much search that donk is not very likely.
So you see the Mew and then the GX.
So Nihilego coming down. Pretty good play here from Tandem, making sure that Mewtwo and Mew GX is poisoned.
What happened to the Mew?
It's been turned into a stack. So I have to imagine Tandem is preparing to get Eradicate Break into the Lost Zone, and then going to attach a double colorless energy to Mew to take the knockout here. So the Mew from Triumphant has free retreat, so that confusion and poison is gone from the Mew. Is switching to the other Mew, so it just needs to get the Eradicate and the double turbo or double colorless. So there's the double colorless energy coming down on the Mew. Literally just needs to Eradicate in the Lost Zone at this point.
Research.
So playing a research, digging. Could get there with a Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum could mean...
Yeah, because he does have the target as the Stadium of Giant Earth.
Yeah, Lost Vacuum can get rid of that.
Could
Lost and Eradicate with a Lost Vacuum.
What were the 3 cards researched away?
So the cards researched away were Jubilife, Rescue Carrier, and another Research.
Yeah.
So not the worst thing in the world. Just needs that Eradicate Break. A Lost Vacuum will take that knockout for him right now.
Because on the past turn, he took the 10 damage from the poison. Does that pass?
So we just see the Jubilife coming down, and then Tandem choosing to use Jubilife.
which will end the turn for Tandem. Because as I say, JIBX is just a budget tropical beach, just 2 less cards. Which, yes, does make a big difference, but
iFly saying, "Wait, is this a better version of my deck?" Actually, iFly, I kind of think it is. This is a very interesting build. I don't know if it's necessarily an optimized build, but this is a very interesting way to play Eradicate Break. Get that the Super Fang dot deck. We do have 2 different versions of Super Fang here tonight. Tandems, or not Tandem, Texter saying, "I love bricking."
oh, did iFly get the buy?
iFly actually, yeah, iFly got the buy. I watching the game. Wait, see Texter just saying, "You know what? My hand's not working. I'm gonna go ahead and use Jubilee Village to end my turn, drawing 6 new cards and passing off to Tandem."
Well, I know where Toph is now.
I'm sorry, you don't have to have it there. You can lay down.
See the Mew Mew just keep on spinning.
All right, we see a Colress's Experiment. This could be some big game.
Where'd the Eradicate? Where the giant mouse rat thing?
It's a rat. We saw it. Eradicate Break is in the lost zone. This is a monster waiting to happen right now. So we already have the double colorless energy on that Mew. Mew has the means of taking a knockout now. That Mewtwo Mew is still poisoned, so it will take a knockout between turns.
Because it brings it down to what, 10 HP left? What its current is?
Dagger says, "Why? Everywhere I go, I can't escape from this terrible mashup."
Super Fang, then Poison, KO.
Yep, Super Fang for knockout. So that is going to KO the active Mewtwo Mew. Mewtwo Mew is knocked out. The best Mewtwo Mew coming to the active spot to take to take the active spot. Sorry, the discussion between the 2 players right now is quite hilarious on the untap. All right, so Jubilee Village is being bumped, was bumped by Giant Hearth. The Jubilee Village needs to move. All right, we see a Battle Compressor discarding the Bustle Pheromosa, Mega Charizard EX. Choosing just to discard 1 card off of each of these Battle Compressors that would appear. Kind of an odd choice. Trying to thin the hand down perhaps for a Crobat.
I would assume. So Giant Hearthing away the Mega Gengar EX for...
So getting a Lapras off the Quick Ball. So just going for a supporter card. Probably desperate enough to get a... Well, no. Want a Welder, really, because you need to attach the energy.
Welder, draw 3, then see what you have.
I mean, he's got quite a lot of options in the discard pile at the moment for attacking.
It's just getting the energy.
Getting the energy is always going to be the big trick. So support navigation on the Lapras. It's a Pokemon power. If you're not familiar, or Poke Power rather. If you're not familiar, Poke Powers are like abilities, but they are not abilities. This particular effect is identical to Luminian and Tapu Lele and to Jirachi EX. Basically, search your deck for a supporter card and put it into your hand. When you see the Welder come down, attaching 2 fire energy to the active Mewtwo and Mew, drawing 3 cards for Texture. Texture going to hopefully find something miraculous in that miraculous duo's draw. We've seen a Zelf come down, a Zelf searching the prize cards for a Pokemon, and then you're able to swap that Pokemon with a card from your hand.
Also, it's also note to also say Poke Bodies, like the Mew Prime has, is also like abilities, but not abilities, and it's also like Poke Powers, but not Poke Power. So they're all pretty much the same type of thing. They are different keywording.
Yep. So
Poke Power was very common in pretty much all of Diamond and Pearl, and then for simplicity of stuff, especially expanded and so on, Black and White era introduced everything to just straight up ability.
Abilities are definitely
and that is specifically why expanded is only Black and White onward, is because for simplicity, because you don't have to constantly be calling a judge over.
Alright, you see Holland's Electrode coming down, probably bumping out one of these fire energies to become a double rainbow for Mewtwo Mew. Pretty good option there for Texture. We do have to wonder what option he's going to be using for this particular matchup. Perhaps copying Jet Punch from Buzzwole Pheromosa to put 30 damage on each of these Mew. We do see that Holland's Electrode come down, swapping that fire energy for the Electrode. Now a double rainbow on that Mewtwo. So powering up anything that needs up to 2 of any energy. Alright, so we're going to see Sonic Volume for knockout. So Sonic Volume is, I believe, Noivern GX's attack. It is. Noivern GX's Sonic Volume does 120 damage. Your opponent can't play any special energy cards from their hand during their next turn.
That will definitely complicate things for Tandem.
Alright, we see Hypnotoxic Laser coming down on the active Mewtwo Mew. This should be game. Yeah, it's game.
Yeah, because he's basically just gonna stall him.
Not even install. He doesn't need to. It's just Hyper Fangs for knockout.
Yeah.
So that's game. Yeah. All right, that's game. So Tandem has taken that game. We're going to switch to see if the other players are still playing.
Well, did he already have the energy in play?
Yeah, the double energy was attached. Didn't lose it. So yeah, it was. We are going to see JIBX round 2. Here, this is Reggie
Hello.
Drago V-Star. Hey, hey. So the real MVP is playing.
I mean,
Real MP
real
rather.
MVP is the energies.
Real MP, yeah. That's yeah, that's the real MVP. The real MP, however, I mean, the real mysterious player is Paris. That is a freaking interesting pick. I am very curious as to why the Paris is in there.
She
Um,
has a parallel city in play.
Parallel City, I understand. That makes it a little bit rough for both of them. Well, for Lost Box at least.
Because who's the one that's got the bench for, is it the Lost Box?
Bench is locked at 3 for Lost Box.
Okay.
Parallel City is a much more devastating version of Collapse Stadium.
So good.
Yeah.
Also the reverse for Parallel City.
So we're going to see a lost or get lost from Giraffe Rig, it looks like. Giraffe Rig, the counter for these techs that the Reggie Drago is trying to use here.
What's the price count?
Gil says, I bet Basil is so confused at the Paris. Well, you know what, Gil? Yes, I'm very curious as to why that Paris is there. Gil says, I guess I can afford to flower pick just once.
Wait, are both players running HGSS?
Yes, they are. So we did see the Parasect go to the Law Zone, so this is probably what it is. Allergic Poison is a Pokemon power that says as long as this Parasect is in play, cards in any player's discard pile are not affected by attacks or Pokemon powers. That is such a good tag. That is such a good tag. That's literally the anti-Giraffe Rig. That's so good. Okay, I love it. Okay, I understand the Parasect, and I understand the Paris. Very, very good tech for this deck. Definitely have to run that, because your opponent would definitely run you over with Giraffe Rig.
Because Giraffe Rig does what again?
Giraffe Rig sends a card from your Lost Zone to or a card from your discard pile to the Lost Zone.
Oh god.
So with Reggie Drago, you're wanting to attack with attacks of your Dragon type Pokemon in the discard pile, right? So if your Dragon type Pokemon in the discard pile are all being sent to the Lost Zone, you suddenly don't have anything to copy with Reggie Drago. That's bad. But if you have Parasect in play, suddenly it's not a problem. Do you see the knockout on that Giraffe Rig? So Giraffe Rig is gone. Comfy goes to the active spot. He'll kind of struggling, it looks like here. Real MP taking a second prize card. See a Lost Vacuum, probably getting rid of that Parallel City. I have to imagine.
Lost Vacuum Lost Zoning and Colress, or?
Yes.
Oh, well, there's just the Colress.
So Lost Zoning and Colress, and now playing a Colress's experiment to draw. Well, to look at 5 cards and put 3 of them into the hand and 2 into the Lost Zone. So Lost Box trying to build itself up. We do see. Is that the Lost Zone?
Is that 16 cards in the Lost Zone?
That is indeed 16 cards in the Lost Zone. That is insanity.
Jeez. What you playing, Garatina?
I know, right? Gil said earlier on the Discord that he didn't think it was necessary for Lost Box to run Scoop Up Nets, and I think having now 17 cards in the Lost Zone completely without Scoop Up Net is a pretty good proof of that fact.
Or Lost Blender.
And no Lost Blender either. Lost Blender is banned in this format because it's just too strong. I would make Mew Prime probably the best deck in the format. And
with the Eradicate break?
With whatever you want, really.
Because the Eradicate is just the effect of the attack, right?
Eradicate is so Big Parasol would protect you from Eradicate's
Big Parasol
attack.
or Unknown G.
Or Wash Water Energy. There's quite a few.
Like there are ways around it.
Yeah, for sure. There's unknown Q.
For the one less retreat cost. I'm very well versed in the two specific unknowns being Q and G because of my retro deck.
I believe both of them are played in the format too, so that's not surprising.
I mean, Q is basically like, then we have one less retreat. We're just free retreat. And then G is literally like, oh yeah, your abilities want to try to screw me over, or your effective attacks. Yeah, no. What's the new stadium in play?
All right, so we see Viridian Forest, one of my favorite stadium cards ever.
Just go search your deck for basic energy.
Discard a card from your hand to search your deck for a basic energy card. So even better. It's actually such a great stadium card. It was introduced into my base set for a JIB format, so it is a legal card in JIB format.
Looks like we see the knockout on the Cramorant.
Looks like Gil is struggling at the moment, really not finding the pieces they need. Regidrago kind of just running him over.
Because how many cards are left in the deck? 7?
Is this the deck?
No, that's the prize.
That's the prize cards. That's even worse.
So discard, lost on prize. Deck has 6 cards left.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Just 6 cards left in deck for Gil, 10 cards left in deck for Real MP. Gil hopefully holding on to something like a Marnie or a Judge or an Inn to try to reshuffle to keep him in the game a little bit longer. But as it stands now, it doesn't look like it'll even matter because the Real MP is probably going to just take all of the knockouts with the Pokemon. So we do see Sableye come down. It will take a knockout against the Regidrago, putting just, what was that, 6 more damage counters on the Regidrago. Able to put another 5 on the Paris and another one wherever he pleases. That'll take 3 prize cards, which is good.
Because it'll take 2 from the Regidrago and 1 from the Paris, right?
Yeah, 2 from the Regidrago and 1 from the Paris. So that's actually very, very good for Gil. That means even though he's really behind right now, he'll be catching up. So the Regidrago on the bench will knock out the Sableye, but as long as Gil can find another Sableye and another Psychic Energy, I think he's pretty okay.
Would you see it? Ordinary Rod or Clara.
Or something. But would you see another Paris come down at Regidrago? Unfortunately, probably going right back to the active spot, just deciding, you know what? I don't really care about your little Sableye. You're going to get squished. All right, we see... See that Regidrago go to the active spot with 3 damage counters on it? Here. Oh, interesting. Gil decided not to take the knockout on the Paris. Decided instead to split the damage counters on Paris and on the Regidrago on the bench. Put 3 on each. That explains why I only took 2 prize cards. So that Sableye is a goner, but does Gil have the means of recovering it? Clara would definitely do the trick.
And also actually get him the Cramorant back too.
Also would be good, yeah.
He could literally just get 2 Psychic Energy and Sableye and Cram over 2 Sableyes.
Yeah, Gil may be behind on prize cards right now, but I don't think he's actually in an awful spot. Does have...
See, Luxury Ball for the Regidrago V-Star.
Yeah.
Very busting. Or
Well,
luxury ball is.
it's basically a master ball. Super good effect. Definitely, luxury ball is 100% a staple card in this format. If you're running an eternal format deck, you are running a copy of a luxury ball.
You're pretty much running that and the Azelf.
Yeah, that as elf, and most decks are also going to be running Lapras and Claydol too. Claydol are just too good not to run.
Better draw engine than most out there. Was that a game?
No.
Oh.
See, Rodrigo V come down on the bench with that beautiful alternate art. That's good art. All right, so we see Raihan coming out of the discard pile with Versus Seeker, attaching the energy to the Comfy, pulling out a Radiant Charizard. Radiant Charizard coming out to do some devastation here. Gonna take an immediate KO against that Regidrago. That's why those 3 damage counters on that Regidrago makes perfect sense now when we see the Radiant Charizard.
Because now he can actually set it up to get the Sableye and knock out the
Azelf and the Parrot. Yeah, very good math.
What's wrong, Nairo?
Tap being a little finicky tonight. It looks like Gall's having problems getting rid of the Versus Seeker on the screen at the moment, but we understand what's going on. All right, we do see the Radiant Charizard come to the active spot. That is going to KO the Regidrago V-Star.
Double Dragon on the Regidrago. We're gonna see.
Sure.
We're gonna see the Guzma.
I do believe something's squirrely here. We see the Guzma on the Comfy. I wonder which attack it is that's going to be copied here.
Well, it's interesting that he's choosing to...
Which attack is being copied? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's interesting that he's choosing to Guzma up a Comfy and have his opponent keep the Zard. I'm sure he has an attack in there that could easily knock out the Zard.
Oh no, never mind. Okay, didn't actually get evolved. That was the confusion. All right. All right, so I just use Dragon Laser to take the KO, knocking out the bench Comfy. All right, that makes much more sense. So either way,
no, so he's just
it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's actually using the V. Like he says, he can evolve the Regidrago V-Star. Doesn't need to evolve the Regidrago V-Star. It's just not necessary. The attack special laser on Dragon Laser on Regidrago V does 130 damage to active. Which is that enough for? No. That's why the Comfy has to get gusted up, because it has to knock out that Comfy and that Comfy. So that one has 6 damage counters on it already. So both Comfies getting knocked out. That's the last 2 prize cards. Real MP takes the game. Right. If it didn't have the Guzma, that could have been a problem, because you can't gust out. You can't get rid of the Charizard from the active spot. You wouldn't be able to take that second prize card.
Yeah.
All right, let's get ready for round 3. Righty. So Gil and Mysterious Player have tied. We go ahead and pair the next round. we're gonna wait for the new round. Our players are gonna get their game set up here shortly. Getting some discussion with the players. All right, so we have a little bit of confusion about results here. Let me get that sorted out real quick. Should fix that issue. So then I think we're good. All right, everybody's figured it out. We are going to jump into the next round here, the final round for tonight's JIBX number 10 Eternal Format tournament. We're going to go ahead and take a look at. Let's watch this game. Let's watch iFly versus Real MP. This is going to be Radicate versus Reggie Drago. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting because Reggie Drago is a 2-prize Pokemon, which means it's not going to be as not gonna be as easy of a matchup for the iFly as something like a Mewtwo Mew would be. All right, we see an active Trubbish discarding Goodra probably to get the Regidrago V, I have to imagine. Yep, there's that Regidrago V. Regidrago V got to be on the bench, getting ready to evolve for this next turn. So it can start copying Goodra's attacks and just being obnoxious like Regidragos want to do. Viridian Forest coming down.
It's the faster Goodra.
Discarding a Versus Seeker from the hand to find a Fire Energy from the deck off of Viridian Forest. Touching that Fire Energy to the benched Regidrago V, I have to imagine.
Either that or he's just getting it for next turn. He has a Double Dragon in hand.
Well, you want to attach it now if you're going to attach Double Dragon next turn. think you're going to attach the fire energy now because it's less devastating if it gets disrupted. Do need to start the timer. There we go. All right, Roll MP passing the turn on to iFly. And we see a Cynthia immediately deciding, you know what, this hand is terrible. Let's make it go away and get 6 different cards. Hopefully this new hand is better, a little bit more playable. Ditto Prism Star coming down onto the bench with its almighty evolution.
Let me see, nest ball. That was a nest ball for the red tat.
Red tat coming down with that free retreat. Definitely important to evolve up into Eradicate with that red tat. That is probably the best possible one you could be playing in this deck with that free retreat. And you know, Trickery is not terrible either. Actually, Trickery's pretty good. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
iFly choosing to pass a Real MP. Real MP drawing their card and evolving right away straight onto them. Straight, like not even missing a beat, just going slam down. There you go. There's the V-Star. I am ready to go. Yeah. All right. So we see that V-Star power or the V-Star marker come down. Probably choosing to flip it over to use the V-Star power, which is Apex Dragon. Or sorry, not Apex Dragon. Legacy Star. During your turn, you may discard the top 7 cards of your deck and then put 2 of those cards from your discard. Put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. So any of the cards in your discard pile, including the 7 you discarded, can go straight to your hand. So if you're looking for, I don't know, a Floatstone.
And as we found out, for at least standard, not just Eternal, but for standard, that V-Star power is apparently really good.
It's pretty cracked, yeah. It's pretty much something else. So yeah.
Coming from somebody that said that he would probably never use it and has used it in every single game I've used a Regidrago V-Star, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Because once you start using it for the first time and you start realizing the different plays you can actually make with it, you're like, oh, yeah, no, this is pretty good.
It's pretty great. Yep.
So we see the Dialga GX and the Noivern.
Yeah, both coming down.
Well,
coming down to the discard from Battle Compressor, yeah. Not to the bench. And Rowlon VMAX also going into the discard pile. Getting those ready to be copied.
Do we see the Double Dragon Energy?
Double Dragon Energy was thrown into the discard, so yeah, I think so. We're gonna see Azelf find a Pokemon in the discard pile, perhaps. Maybe.
Does the Trubbish have free retreat?
Trubbish does not. It has a retreat cost of 1. So it's going to need a Floatstone or some other retreat card in order to pull that off. There's the unknown cue. Yeah.
Situation.
There's our
he just happened to just have all the right cards.
Yeah, it's almost like he built his deck to do what it's doing right now. Amazing how that works. Attaching the unknown cue to the active Trubbish, retreating the Trubbish to put the Registrago V-Star into the active spot and to take a knockout on that Zubat. iFly seeing a little bit of a draw drop off of this turn from his opponent, but hey, it worked.
How many times have you said those words with your own decks that you've made?
Bruh. Yeah, we definitely had some interesting parts here. All right. Forgot to discard a supporter. Trying to figure out what the discard of the supporter is.
Why is he needing to discard
I'm
supporter?
not sure. I'm not sure what the... Alright. So copying Timeless GX to knock out the active Zubat, immediately starting their next turn with Timeless GX. So Timeless GX is the GX attack on Dialga GX. Dialga GX having that attack saying so 150 damage, take another turn after this one, skip the in-between turn step. So skip Pokemon checkup. So 150 damage immediately going to the next turn. Not even worried about
Wait,
it.
can he timeless GX?
Yes, he can. He has the
With-
energy.
With 3 energy?
Yeah, remember, Regidrago, you're not paying the cost of
Oh.
the attack. You're paying the cost
Yeah.
of Apex Dragon. So because you're only having to pay Grass, Fire, you have access to
I'm
a
just
mountain
so
of attacks.
used to stuff actually still needing the required energy. Damn, Regidrago seems fun in Eternal now.
Yeah, it does. Seems very good.
How is it better in pretty much almost every format with the exception of Standard? Is it just because there's not a lot of good Standard stuff to choose from?
I mean, there is stuff to choose from, but you don't have Battle Compressor in the Standard. That's what it is, honestly. The Battle Compressor and Double Dragon Energy make it much better.
Well, we see the Guzzlord also drop onto the Trubbish.
That's a Garbodor. But
Yeah, Garbodor.
Right, we see a
Guzma.
Guzma on the Garbodor. Garbodor, unfortunately, is a very beefy boy. This is the Garbodor from Dragons Exalted with the Garbotoxin ability. Garbotoxin shuts off all Pokemon abilities so long as you have a tool card attached. Right now, the Unknown is a tool card. So,
Shutting
abilities are shut off. Ditto's ability is shut off. Lapras is not an ability, so Lapras does not get shut off, although it doesn't matter at this point anyway.
Is a
Power.
Power.
Yeah. So the only thing is that Real MP is going to have to find a switch, a Guzma, a something to not get stalled out here. Doesn't find it. Has to pass back to iFly. iFly getting a turn. Another turn to survive here. iFly going for a luxury ball. Hopefully not going for a Crobat. Hopefully going for a Rattata.
Seems
Gonna bench it. Gonna bench it. All right, trying to get that. Trying to get set up. Same thing as feeling for 4. So 4 cards out of the deck. Refreshing that hand a little bit here.
Nice ball for maybe a Rattata or a Zubat.
For the ball toy. Ball toy definitely makes sense. You want the ball toy. Got to get that clay all out and ready as fast as possible.
I'm actually surprised it's taking this long to get the ball toy on board.
I mean, when you're getting smacked upside the face turn 1, I mean, it's not surprising. iFly having to pass, not having anything else. Both players kind of stalled out at the moment.
You use what? One more energy on the Garbodor?
Garbodor is going to need a double energy. Or a Floatstone. But Floatstone, unfortunately, would have to be replacing that Unknown Q because it's already a tool card attached there. So some other sort of retreat or switch is going to have to be used. Unless Real MP can find a Windstorm or a Field Blower.
Professor Juniper. So discard hand, draw 7.
So very much like Professor's research in our current standard format. Or Sycamore in the previous format, yeah. The only thing was both with Expanded and with Eternal, there is a deck building rule limitation where you can only use either Juniper or Sycamore or Research. You cannot mix and match. It has to be all of one. So if you want to play with one of them, you play with that one.
Same with Boss's Order and Lysander.
Correct.
But you just pretty much run Guzma because it's just better.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to, you could run Guzma and those because they're different abilities.
Yes, they are different. They have different effects. It's true. LMP looking at their hand, going, "What have I got here? How can I get out of this stall?" And having to pass. No option available in the hand.
Regidrago V and Double Dragon come down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no Guzma being able to be played after Juniper, so even if they manage to draw into Guzma, they just can't make use of it at the moment. They'll have to wait until their following turn.
Somebody just used Viridian.
Yeah, so iFly did just use Viridian Forest there, discarding a Mr. Mime to grab an
Fail.
to fail it. So doing nothing there. Now playing Evolution Incense to grab a card. Getting that Clay Doll. Seems good. Gotta say, seems good. So Clay Doll with that Poke Power, you can put up to 2 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck and then draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. Think of this as a supercharged version of Crobat that thins your hand for you. And we do see the Eradicate come down. Just need a boost energy or a triple acceleration energy. Either one would do the trick.
Was level ball for
Level ball getting a Zubat. Okay. So Zubat coming down to prepare for the knockout on the next turn. The iFly's deck is a little slower than Tandem's here. Tandem's had the Hypnotoxic Laser. iFly choosing instead to rely on the spread from the Crobat. Or Golbat rather. Golbat does have that attack, however, that allows him to take multiple knockouts. We did see that in one of iFly's previous games. Unfortunately, iFly not able to get the Lapras out of the active spot. That Lapras is stuck. Both players have their active Pokemon stuck, just not able to do what they want to do to get their attacker out in play.
Lapras, or we don't go see a Guzma.
So Lapras probably going to get the Guzma. There is the Guzma. Guzma definitely coming down. Gonna have to choose that Raticate. I can't imagine there's any other choice at the moment. Raticate, fully evolved. Probably shouldn't have evolved this last turn. Just because even if the Rattata would have been knocked out, you would have been able to... well, actually, even doesn't matter because the Garbodor needs to have its tool removed. So if you had a tool removal of some sort, whether that Lost Vacuum, Windstorm, or Field Blower, you would have been able to get rid of the Unknown and then be able to evolve the Ditto into a Raticate. But unfortunately, at this point, that Raticate is just dead. So it's gone no matter what.
We don't see, yeah.
Lapras coming back to the active spot.
Or is not promoting the Zubat for a free retreat?
That would have been interesting. That would have probably been a better play, honestly.
That's what I would have done because you have a pivot.
So Sonic Volume is preventing the attachment of the special energy cards, which means that there's actually no way for iFly to even attach a double colorless energy at the moment.
So this is pretty much GG's.
This is GG at this point. There is no way that Real MP is going to allow that lock to let up. So unfortunately, I think the game's just over for iFly. iFly does not really have a choice at the moment. That
unless he can Guzma either the Lapras or the Garbodor up. He passes.
He's passing, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter, right? There's nothing he can do. There's no way for him to get any knockouts or do any damage. I don't believe his deck plays any basic energy at all. So, ouch, basically.
Ouch time.
Yeah. Sonic Volume once again knocking out the Lapras and continuing the special energy lock. There is no game 2. All right. So that is going to be a scoop. iFly choosing not to bother playing that out. Probably the right choice. Frankly, I don't think there would have been any way for iFly to win. Just a little too devastating of a lock for decks reliant on special energy. And I believe that is the last game currently running for the tournament. So I believe we will have a result here shortly on who has taken the whole thing. So All right. All right, we have results. Need to see about like Texter took the game against Gil. It's actually very interesting. I'm very, very surprised, to be honest. I thought we would have been a hard matchup for him, but it looks like no. This deck is broke good. Is it broke though, or is it just good? That's the
I
question.
feel like it's just good.
I think it's really good.
I don't think anything in there was really like too game breaking.
I could see Dialga maybe being a potential problem, but otherwise I don't know that it is actually that bad. It's just very, very, very good. We'll have to keep it. We'll have to observe still. I do think I'm going to start with the Eternal format, unless there's something that absolutely crushes and suffocates the format. Probably just going to do updates at the same time that Pokemon would do them. So it's like a week or two before the release of a set. And then that would be the only updates. That way there's a regular cadence of updates for the format span list, but not like, you know, every other week like it's been. All right. So with that said, let's look at the standings here.
Gil, the new meta, says Reggie Draco is complete bonkers in the chat.
It does have a lot going for it, but I still am not certain that it's actually broken necessarily. Maybe one of its tools or a couple of its tool cards need to be kept under close eye. Like maybe Dialga needs to be observed, but I feel like there's still counterplay for it.
If I had to choose a card, I would say the Dialga is really the only one that I really see, because, like, I mean, everything else seems honestly perfectly fine for right now, at least.
Yeah. All right, let's look at these standings, shall we? All right, so we are going to have in first place Mysterious Player, in second place Ethan Machevic. So that is going to be Tandem coming in second place with, I believe, what did Tandem play? Tandem played the Mew, right? He played the...
Tandem played the Mew.
He played Raticate Mew. That's actually a very interesting deck too. I have to really congrats him on that. Texter coming in third place with Mewtwo Mew. So very interesting decks that showed up today. Very, very interesting. Yeah. All right. So let's we're gonna wrap up the stream here. Congratulations to Mysterious Player for taking the victory with Regidrago V-Star. Regidrago V-Star, absolutely amazing card from Silver Tempest. We will keep an eye, of course, on that archetype going forward to see if there are any bans necessary for that particular archetype. I don't think Regidrago V-Star itself necessarily warrants the ban, if any, but maybe one or two of its tech cards could warrant it in the future. With that said, thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.